few weeks, a lot of political developments have been happening in this country. Number one, Isaac Mwaura officially declared that he's now in Team Tanga Tanga, or the Hustler Nation. And then a few days later, Alice Wahome also declared that President Uhuru Kenyatta is planning to use the Building Bridges Initiative process to extend his stay in office. And before the dust could settle, Irungu Kangata also emerged with a bold letter to President Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm today in game with a friend, and I want to hear his opinion on the Irungu Kangata's letter to President Uhuru Kenyatta. Kevin Doso is one of my good friends, and I want to hear your opinion on this Irungu Kangata matter. What's your take? What do you think of Irungu Kangata's letter to President Uhuru Kenyatta?
You see, there are a number of things that you can derive from Kangata's letter. And for me, it's also a blessing because Kangata is telling us that currently in central Kenya, BBI, which is perceived in central Kenya to be Raila Odinga's baby, has 20% support. This support, though Kangata is claiming that his research is not scientific, but 20% for me, it's a blessing and an indication that BBI is going to do well in central Kenya. Why do I say so? It shows that without even touching base in central Kenya, Raila Odinga already has 20%. Because the people of central Kenya perceive this baby to be Raila Odinga's. And you and I know very well that Raila has never gained support to the extent of 20% since he started vying for presidency in Kenya. So again, Irungu Kangata is saying that Tanga Tanga, with all the machinery and their presence in central Kenya, they only command 60%. What does that tell you? That Jubilee has dropped from 90% to now 60%. Remember, there's another 20% that he said is undecided. Yes. So, in other words, when Raila Odinga and His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta decide now to start campaigning for the BBI in central Kenya, then the margins will go up. So for me, those are some of the things that I learned from Irungu Kangata's letter. The other things about the provincial administration and using the chiefs to drum up support for the BBI, that one I think is also infighting within Uhuru's circles. Because you see, I agree with Kangata, as a politician, BBI is a political process. And when it's now taken to the public to make a decision, then it should be spearheaded by politicians, not chiefs and DCs, that is the provincial administration. So I agree with him that the government should allow politicians within central Kenya to do what? To drum up support and manage BBI in central Kenya. Because when you come to Nyanza and other parts of the country, the people who are spearheading, who are rather drumming support for BBI, are the politicians, which is not the case in central Kenya. The other thing that Kangata talked about is the Nairobi politics. You know, this guy, this letter had a lot of issues that, for me, I believe it could be driven by the intelligence. They want to know the feeling of the people about BBI and even Nairobi politics. But I'm glad Jubilee already has a candidate, Dennis Waweru. And I know Dennis Waweru personally, as a grassroots person. The people who think that Dennis Waweru will be a walk in the park, then me, I can advise the Tanga Tanga team to try and field a candidate with their new party, the UDA party. Then they'll know who controls Nairobi. Because the Kikuyu in Nairobi is a business person. They are so much concerned about their economy. They are enlightened voters. When you try to convince them that voting Ruto's candidate as governor will change things with the impunity that we've witnessed from Tanga and the corruption, they will not get that support. The other thing is, when you check the Nairobi politics, Ruto has only 2 MPs, John Kiarie and Nixon Korir. And already, Nixon Korir and John Kiarie, they've lost grip. They are not people you can bank on for the Nairobi support. And you know, traditionally, it is Raila who has been winning Nairobi since he started vying for presidency. The other thing that you have to note about Nairobi is that there are only 3 people in Kenya who could put Nairobi to a standstill. And that is Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, and Mike Sonko. And because Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila had already seen indication that Sonko was tilting towards Tanga, they managed to do away with Sonko. So for me, I know Ruto does not command support in Nairobi. And if you can remember well what happened in Kibra, they spent a lot of money and they dished a lot of money and with a lot of propaganda. But at the end of the day, what happened? The Kibra voter went ahead to vote in Imran as their MP.
Now, I still on the issue of Irungu Kangata.
Yes.
There are people who are claiming that probably the letter was not drafted by Irungu Kangata himself. That probably President Uhuru Kenyatta drafted that letter and used Irungu Kangata to pass a message to Raila Odinga. What's your take on that specific subject? Because Kenyans are questioning that outside here.
You see, that's a narrative that is emanating from the Tanga team, because one, Tanga have tried so hard to portray that Raila Odinga is being played by Uhuru Kenyatta. So when you hear people trying to associate that letter with Uhuru Kenyatta himself, you should first of all understand how Uhuru Kenyatta operates. Uhuru is a very shrewd politician, and in the recent past, you saw what he did to Sonko. When Sonko thought that he is a lame duck president, you see where he is right now. So Uhuru is very shrewd. He would not make such mistakes, and he is above such cheap politics. Uhuru, when he wants to address his elder brother, he will make a phone call and they'll agree. So that narrative that is being the narrative that is being sold by Tanga team that could be Uhuru has used Irungu Kangata to pass a message to Raila, it's neither here or there.
And the other question I want to ask you, which so many people are asking me, this handshake between Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga, who is going to benefit more if it's passed, and who is going to lose more in case it fails?
You see, it's very clear, and if I use Irungu Kangata's letter as a point of reference, Irungu Kangata has stated there that the benefits that the people of Central are going to gain from BBI will be difficult for them to realize when their own is not in that seat. You get it? So what is it trying to communicate? It's trying to tell you that with BBI, it is the Central Kenya people that are going to benefit more than any other region. First of all, when it comes to revenue distribution and constituency allocation, the formula that was used is 1 man, 1 shilling, 1 vote. And already, Central Kenya has gained so many new constituencies through the BBI. And that is because of their numbers. You cannot take away that from them. The other day, I even advised Luos to give birth. You cannot compete other tribes by word of mouth. Give birth. When you go to Central, they are giving birth. That is why they have managed to get all those constituencies. So for me, I think Central Kenya is going to benefit. When it comes to Raila, because Raila is not owned by Luos only, and if you played Kenyan politics, you know so well that is the only politician who's appealed to Kenyans across board. So when we talk about Raila, people gaining or losing, then I'll tell you that the constituencies that Raila command, Coast, part of Rift Valley, Nyanza, Northeastern, part of Central, we have gained. Even Western Kenya.
But I think there's a question you are evading here.
Which one?
When Irungu Kangata talks of the provincial administration,
yes,
from my perspective, I think Irungu Kangata is talking of managing the building bridges initiative process, especially in central Kenya and the larger Mount Kenya region.
Yes.
And based on what he's talking about, I'm trying to think that Irungu Kangata is talking of Karanja Kibicho. Irungu Kangata is talking of the deep state. You know, when we talk of the deep state, we talk of people like Murabe and Gitao. Do you think that these guys are actually the reason why the building bridges initiative process is not taking off in the larger Mount Kenya region? Probably because the political class are not happy that the politics of the region is being managed by Uhuru Kenyatta's key appointments, especially those in the civil service.
Okay, I wouldn't want to take Karanja Kibicho head on, but there's some truth in what you are saying. Karanja Kibicho and the deep state should allow politicians to run the BBI process. The bone of contention here, and you and I know so well, it is about liquidity.
Pesa.
They need to fund these politicians to counter Tanga. That is the only thing. So Irungu Kangata, in his right senses, for me, I think his letter is a blessing, because he's sending a signal to these people. He's telling them, hey, you wake up, man. Eh? You know, Tanga is using Alice Wahome, is using Ndidi Nyoro, is using Moses Kuria to oppose BBI, and they are liquid. Yet yes, you want us to support BBI, and you are not funding us. So please bring the money. Let us use the money. Let us facilitate us so that we can move mashinani.
So atoe
pesa watu waweze kutembea mashinani.
The chiefs, the assistant chiefs.
At the end of the day, you know, anything attributed to provincial administration, you find Kenyans sometimes
they
go slow on it, and again they also feel that it's something that is being forced down their throats. So let Karanja Kibicho and his group allow politicians to manage the BBI process.
And lastly,
yes,
what do you think is Raila Odinga's prospect as far as the building bridges initiative process is concerned? Because up to now, President Uhuru Kenyatta has not taken the lead in his push for the building bridges initiative process. Do you think Raila Odinga will carry this burden should we assume that Irungu Kangata's letter is actually a message from the president? And what should Raila Odinga do? Should he jump the ship, or should he just continue pushing on?
You know, Makwiny, you've been in this game, I think, probably longer than me. The issue of jumping the ship or not is neither here or there. Raila and Uhuru, they are in this thing. This is their baby together. Let nobody lie to you. Uhuru and Raila are micromanaging this thing. They are hands-on. You know, in terms of politics, you cannot compare Raila to Tanga. He has massive experience, and I trust that whatever they are doing or their plans with His Excellency the President, at the end of the day, we will achieve what we intended as supporters of BBI and supporters of Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga. Why do I say so? You can't convince me. You can't convince me that.
15 minutes.
You can't convince me that Ruto and his team are smarter than Raila combined with Uhuru. You can't. And you know, Raila's business is politics. Uhuru's business is politics. And they've played it longer than Ruto. So they know how they are managing this baby, and they know how they are playing around with Tanga. because they are also aware that Tanga exists. You see, some of us Kenyans think that Raila and Uhuru are so dumb that they don't recognize the fact that Tanga exists. They are aware to that fact, and the person to be dealt with on the table is William Samoei Ruto.
Thank you.